And to give you an example on how that impacted us, we were on a very successful recruitment mission last year in Dubai. First of all, it was a great opportunity again to meet with other employers in education institutions. So my name is Hans de Wit. I'm the manager of immigration services at Shannex. I was born and raised in the Netherlands, where I completed my law school and then worked in the legal field for several years before I immigrated to Canada in 2012. Throughout my own immigration journey, I became interested in learning more about Canadian immigration. So after I became a permanent resident myself, I attended the program for immigration consultant at Humber College. And in 2020, I joined Shannex as an immigration specialist. Shannex is a family-owned business founded in 1988 by Joseph Shannon, and primary lines of business are long-term care, retirement living, home care, and more recently transitional care as well. The first one was a very practical one. Is in line with the settlement part, successful settlement is finding our new employees housing. The vast majority of our international recruits are coming from countries where long-term care doesn't exist. The care is done by the family members. So it's a new experience, and what does that mean? And what challenges does that come with? So we had to put a program in place and additional training and mentor programs to help them navigate those pieces, especially those relocating from other provinces who join the organization here or in New Brunswick, or when we go on international recruitment missions, finding housing for those coming from overseas. We don't want any of our new recruits to make their way to Nova Scotia or New Brunswick and join us if we don't know for sure that they have a good place to live. And to give you an example on how that impacted us, we were on a very successful recruitment mission last year in Dubai, where we recruited a group of around 30 continuing care assistants for our facilities in New Brunswick. Several of them were immigration ready. As soon as we came back, we started the immigration process with them, assisted them throughout that, and it went very quickly, with work permits approved within about 2 to 3 weeks. So basically they were ready to make their way to Canada and start with Shannex after about 2 months after we interviewed them, which is very quick. But then we faced the challenge of not having any accommodation available for them. So at the end of the day, it took them much longer before they can actually make their way to Canada, simply because we couldn't find them affordable housing. First of all, it was a great opportunity again to meet with other employers in education institutions, settlement organizations, to learn about their challenges and experiences. One thing that we learned is that we're quite well on track, it seems like, when it comes to international recruitment. We have quite a bit of knowledge, but there's still a lot of things that we could do differently or that we could consider, whether it is different countries to source from, making connections with particular education institutions. So that's one. But secondly, very practical things that came up during the conversations. I remember the last session where we talked about the expiration date of work permits and how you can track those. And a new idea was introduced or was mentioned that I hadn't considered myself as part of our audit process. And we've really taken that and implemented that in our own processes now. And last, and I think it's a very important element for us, an opportunity to actually, as a group, to collect all that knowledge and information and challenges that we face to be successful in international recruitment and retention, and feed that information back into RSSC in the hope that this will lead to further policy implementation or potentially policy changes.